Buenos dias, y'all. RGT85 here, and a couple days ago on the channel, we of course talked about the worst of the worst, the toilet games of 2021 when it came to the Nintendo Switch, a Switch buyer's guide of which games released in the past year that, well, you don't want to buy these games. But of course, if we're going to talk about bad things, we have to talk about good things. And surprisingly, I have a lot of good games that released on the Nintendo Switch this year that I definitely recommend. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. The Nintendo Switch games that you should buy. You should have these in your collection, and I'm going to tell you guys why. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video, all that YouTube crap. And without any further ado, let's get into my list. So the first game we're going to talk about is a game that I picked up recently, and the more I've been playing it, the more I'm impressed with it, and that is Crysis 3 Remastered. Now, when the original Crysis came out on the Nintendo Switch, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing it. I never played it because it was a PC game, but Crysis 3 I did play back in the day on the Xbox 360. But the crazy thing about Crysis 3 is it still really holds up well today. And I would venture to say that this game looks as good now as some of the other first-person shooters that we're getting. This is a technical showcase on the Nintendo Switch in terms of things like lighting and bloom effects, and of course just even water effects, bullet effects, different sorts of transparencies that happen within this game. Now, the game itself is a bit short because the original release of this game had online multiplayer, which was removed from all of the remastered editions, which I think is really stupid. But Crysis 3 Remastered is that game that you show your friends on the Nintendo Switch that you're like, yeah, look at this game running on it. Like, this system is legit. This system can run really graphically taxing games if the companies behind them take the time and effort to make these games look as good as possible. Crysis 3 Remastered on the Switch, definitely a graphical showcase, and if you're a first-person shooter fan, I think you'll really enjoy this fun but a bit short adventure. The next game on my list is arguably my favorite game of 2021 for the Nintendo Switch, and that is Monster Hunter Rise. Now, speaking of graphical showcases, this game is one of the best looking games on the Nintendo Switch, and that really is because of the fact that this is utilizing the RE engine from Capcom. Now, this game, of course, is notorious for games like Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, even Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes were done in the RE engine, so this is a very diverse engine as well. We saw it in Devil May Cry 5, and I think it just looks absolutely fantastic on the Nintendo Switch. The core gameplay experience of Monster Hunter Rise definitely will take you a lot of time. I believe I put about 60 or so hours into the core experience, and that's before all of the DLC packs. Plus, there's a large DLC pack coming in summer of 2022 that really just expands upon the game and adds in so many new things. I think the traversal system in Monster Hunter Rise really makes this game a lot more accessible. Monster Hunter games used to sort of be shoehorned into like really hardcore stuff, but I feel like Monster Hunter Rise does a good job of accepting in newcomers because it doesn't quite overwhelm you as those other games did. Monster Hunter Rise, a fantastic game, and if you don't own this game on your Nintendo Switch, you're definitely missing out. The next game on my list is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Now, honestly, I forgot this game even came out in 2021. It feels like it came out a very long time ago. Now, of course, the core game of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is the Super Mario 3D World aspect of the game. Now, this originally released on the Wii U. They added in some online multiplayer into this version of the game that was not included in the Wii U version, and it's a super good pseudo 3D Mario game. It's not really in the style of something like Super Mario 64, but it's definitely less linear than games like a 2D platformer comes in the Super Mario gameplay stuff. So it's a really solid game, but the Bowser's Fury stuff is really the portion of the game that's just absolutely fantastic. This was by far why I picked this up, and I was not disappointed. Like, it was so damn good. It's essentially like an open world Mario game in which the missions and things just kind of happen when you approach certain things. I love the graphical style. I love the controls of the game. I love the fluidity of the game. It's just an absolutely mind-blowing experience. Plus the whole big Giga Bowser versus huge Cat Mario battles, like, super impressive. Super impressive game. It's almost worth the price of admission, even if you've played Super Mario 3D World to death, just to play the Bowser's Fury segment. You'll probably get a few hours out of the Bowser's Fury segment of the game, but I really hope this is the direction that Nintendo goes with these Mario games in the future, because if this is a glimpse of things to come, sign me the hell up. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, fantastic game. The next game we're going to talk about is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD for the Nintendo Switch. Now, usually, I'm not too keen on remasters and HD remakes releasing at full price, but this game was special because I never finished it on the Wii. I could not stand those stupid Wii motion controls that were mandatory for that game, swinging the sword around and crap. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. And, you know, about halfway through the game, I just sort of gave up on the game, making it the only mainline Legend of Zelda game that I never finished. Well, Skyward Sword HD definitely does a much better job. They sort of shortened some of the missions that were a bit elongated in the original game, and most importantly, you have a more modern control scheme. I wouldn't say it's a perfect control scheme, but it works a hell of a lot better than that original one did, and if for some reason you want the motion controls, they're still in the game. I think the new HD graphics look nice, simple, clean. The game runs at 60 frames per second, and really, this was a super enjoyable experience. I finally got to beat The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and you know what? I think it's kind of an underrated Zelda game, especially when we're talking about 3D Zelda games. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is a definite must-own for your Nintendo Switch. Cruising, come on, go cruising, Cruisin' Blast. Holy hell, this was one of the most fun games I played of 2021, regardless of the platform. I adore this game. I think this game is super special. I think this game got snubbed at the Game Awards. It should have been in Best Racing Game because it's a super fun game. And like, that's what racing games used to be. You remember when you used to go to an arcade and you played a racing game and it was like a supernatural experience. It was an out-of-body experience because you knew that your console at home couldn't do anything like that. Well, Cruisin' Blast goes back to that 90s style of arcade racing games with crazy courses, crazy effects happening within these courses, and of course, crazy cars to choose from. You could be a freaking dinosaur, man, a Triceratops. But no, it's just a super enjoyable game. It's a game that the whole time you're playing it, you have this big stupid grin on your face because it's just sheer fun. It's sheer speed. And yeah, it can be a little bit difficult, especially in the higher difficulty levels, but I think that adds to the fun of the game. I really hope and pray that they do include online multiplayer in this game eventually. They have said that if the game was successful, they would look at adding in online multiplayer, but even as it stands now, this is a great game. It's a budget game. It's a game that's super fun. If you like getting a big stupid smile on your face while you're playing video games, Cruisin' Blast is the game for you. This next game might surprise you, but I'm adding it into my list because I enjoyed this game a lot more than I thought I would, and that is Shimagami Tensei 5. Now, I'm not a Shimagami Tensei fan. I've never played any of the previous games except for like the one on the DS. I'm pretty sure I played one on the PS2 like once or something. I don't know. It always felt very overbearing. It always felt like I couldn't really understand what the hell was going on. But once I went into it with a fresh set of eyes for the Nintendo Switch release of Shimagami Tensei 5, I realized it's like Pokemon for adults because instead of capturing pocket monsters, you're capturing demons, and like, that's cool. The story of the game is kind of interesting. It kind of allows you to interpret a lot of things, but the thing I really liked about this game was just the demon collecting, figuring out which different demons you should team up in order to defeat certain enemies within the game. It's a very challenging game. I got frustrated a bunch of times, but I really feel like this is a super fun game, especially if you're a fan of Pokemon, but you're like, I want something a little darker. I want something a bit more grisly in my Pokemon experience. It is a turn-based RPG. The battle system is super easy to understand once you sort of get everything going on. There's demon fusion. You can call upon more demons. Jesus might not like this game because there are quite a few demons on it. But RGT likes this game. So Shimagami Tensei 5, if you're an RPG fan, you owe it to yourself to play this game. Even if you're a Pokemon fan who feels like you've sort of outgrown what Pokemon is doing, it's a game worth checking out. Speaking of Pokemon, I'm going to give a little bit of kudos to new Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo Switch because, well, much like Crysis, this game is gorgeous. By far the best looking Pokemon game you have ever seen, and it's fun. Like, yeah, you're still just taking pictures of Pokemon. At its core experience, it's pretty much a basic thing, but I like doing that. I like exploring the different terrains that you go in, finding different paths that you can go down in order to capture more Pokemon within this game. Of course, there has been DLC added into the game for free as well that allows you more Pokemon and more areas to visit. It's a super fun game. If you played the original game on the N64 like I did, you're going to love this game game, especially if you enjoyed that game, because it's like that original game on like steroids with like fancy graphics, and it just looks absolutely great. If you're a casual Pokemon fan, you'll still enjoy it because of the fact that, hey, you could see your Pokemon friends within these beautiful 3D rendered graphics that just look so much better than you're getting with mainline Pokemon games. And if you're not a Pokemon fan, I mean, still play it anyways. It's super fun. Maybe you're a photography expert like I was back in 8th grade with Mr. Wazalewski as our photography teacher. Mr. Wazalewski, he's gonna get to you. Mr. Wazalewski, he's gonna get you too. Replace that last get with the F word. And that was the original song we used to sing for Mr. Wazalewski. Anyways, new Pokemon Snap. I really enjoyed this game. It's gorgeous. You'll probably want to check it out. And the final game we're going to talk about is Mario Party Superstars. Now, when Super Mario Party came out on the Nintendo Switch, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I'm an adult and most of my friends do not live near me anymore. You know, when you talk about your high school friends that you played N64 with or your middle school friends, you probably don't live in the same town as them. I live by myself, so who am I going to play this game with because of the fact that there's like no online multiplayer? And the online multiplayer that's in the game is very limited. Well, Mario Party Superstars gets rid of all that nonsense. It's a full-on online experience and it kicks ass. It runs great, it looks great, it plays great, and most importantly, it is fun. You could play this game with your friends across the pond, across the world, across the globe. I just wouldn't play with MVG because, well, he's a smelly Englishman. Mario Party Superstars is definitely a great game worth checking out, especially if you felt a bit burned by, of course, Super Mario Party. Hello? I'm making a video. What the hell do you want? What do you mean I missed a game? How do you know that? Are you watching me or something? You got cameras set up in here? Uh-huh. But I'm not supposed to talk about that game. No, remember the whole big controversy? Nintendo got mad at me? No, it's a great game, but... Alright, I guess I'll talk about it. Thanks, man. Thanks for always looking out for me. So evidently, I missed a game. And I'm glad I got that mysterious phone call while I'm filming this video that in no way, shape, or form could have known that I was making this video. But yeah, Metroid Dread, the true final game on our list. And yes, Metroid Dread kicks ass. It is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Nintendo didn't like that I got an early copy of the game, but let's let bygones be bygones because this is one of the best experiences of 2021. Samus, the queen of the 2D Metroidvania adventure style of gameplay, is truly back in this game, and just from top to bottom, everything about this game is great. The music, maybe there's a few hidden tracks in there that I didn't really like. Some of the music, just, I don't know, it didn't hit with me, but the sound design, play this game with your headphones on, it's absolutely fantastic. The level design is really well done. The fact that they keep things fresh throughout the entire adventure and throw things like curveballs into the different enemy types you face throughout this adventure as well is just absolutely fantastic. The bosses are big and awesome. There's different ways to take them down, hidden ways to take them down. It's just such a great experience. Even the story itself is pretty decent, and usually Metroid games, you know, they're a bit light on the story, but I found this story to be very engaging. There's even some, like, you know, surprise characters that come along in the game. Just fantastic game. This game was obviously nominated as one of the Game Awards Game of the Year contenders, and I felt like if this game would have won, I don't think people would have batted an eye, because if you played this game, you know how damn good it is. But if you haven't played this game, you should check it out. Yes, that might mean that it might sell over 3 million copies, and I might have to play stupid son of a bitch with his little top hat game, Balan Wonderworld. But if that's the case, you know, I'm a man. I'll take my lumps. Metroid Dread, a fantastic game. Check it out. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. Obviously, there are other games, you know, I could have done a bunch of honorable mentions, games like Dying Light, you know, fantastic on the Nintendo Switch. Like, you know, that's an older port of a game, though, so I feel like a lot of people have played that. I, of course, have talked about it in previous videos. Just so many awesome games this year. Yeah, it was a bit quiet as far as heavy hitters are concerned, but, you know, looking through all the games, like, you had a great year. No matter what genre of games you like, you had a fantastic time, and you had a lot of games to choose from. So let me know in the comments section down below what some of your favorite games of the Nintendo Switch were for 2021. Help people out in the comments section. It's a buyer's guide. Obviously, I'm not going to cover every single game under the sun. So help out your fellow man, woman, person. You know, maybe there's a doggy watching too. What up, dog? What up, dog? But help them out. Let them know what games to check out. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If this is your first time on the channel, like I said at the start, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video as well. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.